It is a pleasure to call upon, very briefly, Ariel Wasserman, who put a tremendous amount of time into this program. Thank you, Ariel.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ariel Wasserman. I am the GLIC student coordinator of this event. Thank you. When I was studying in Israel, I had the opportunity to go to Poland. At the beginning of the trip, every girl was given a notebook and a pen. I've never been a big journal writer, but I had a feeling that this was a trip where I would want and need to chronicle my feelings. I'd like to share this journal entry with you, written on the day that we spent in Majdanek. Standing in a gas chamber is truly the oddest experience. How can such innocuous-looking rooms kill thousands upon thousands of people? They are small and gray, and you can see fingernail scratches in the cement. Not everyone submitted to death, and I must admit that I find these scratches oddly satisfying. Proof that we are not mere lambs to be led to the slaughter. It is strange. Before coming here, I thought the words would come pouring out of me, a torrent of feelings and emotions. But now that I am here, I, a great lover and believer of words, am at an utter loss. There are no words. That is a statement I have never understood. Of course there are words. But in a gas chamber, there aren't. Actually seeing the camp, walking around and being in it, it does not bring me to tears. Even if the ground I stand on is drenched in blood, it is too removed for the necessary emotional connection. It is the stories, the words of the survivors that make me sad and cry and feel so alive that it almost hurts. This is an entry that always resonates with me. Everybody connects with the Holocaust differently. For some, it is the sheer magnitude of the numbers, 6 million Jews. For others, it is the camps themselves, a way to visualize and bear witness. For me, it has always been the words, the stories. The numbers are too big, and the physical spaces are just that. They do not change me or hurt me or make me understand. But the stories do. It is the stories that give a name to the numbers. It is the stories that give the Holocaust its face. And the face of the Holocaust is your grandmother or grandfather, the same face you see reflected in the mirror every day. It is the survivors that make me understand. And that is why we are currently in the midst of interviewing the survivors present here today, to preserve and to remember. The terrifying thing is, we will not have survivors forever. As a 20-year-old university student, the odds are high that my children will never hear a survivor speak. And then what? Will the Holocaust fade into oblivion as though it never was? Will it become just a footnote in the history textbook, mythologized into fairy tale or ghost story? Will people forget? The answer cannot be yes. We cannot forget. There's a famous line by Descartes, I think, therefore I am. But in Judaism, I've always felt like it was I remember, therefore I am. It is our past that gives us our present. And that is what this event is about. We, the students, are the present. We have our whole futures ahead of us, dazzling white spaces ready to be filled. But we are nothing without our past. We need to hear these stories, to know them and to remember them, because we must tell them to the next generation. That is our obligation and our privilege. To all the survivors who came out today, thank you. Thank you for sharing your words and your lives and doing your part in ensuring that never again remains a promise and not empty words. And to all those who came to listen, thank you too. Thank you for taking the time out of your incredibly busy weekend and listening to the stories that you are one day going to have to tell. Never again. Never forget. Thank you.
We met in 1942, about the springtime. The Tanzania. Yeah. Both of us, we are from different different, born in different places, but close to each other, actually. I was born in Tokaj, and my wife was born in Bodrog-Keresztül, which is a distance of 7 kilometers. But we didn't know each other. But in 42, both of us were in Budapest, the capital city of Hungary. One of a mutual friend, one of the girls, introduced my wife to me, you know, and then we get to know each other. Yeah.
It started, I was going, because I was working in a hair salon.
Speak up on
Hair salon.
Yeah, I was in a millionaire and I was going to work 8 o'clock into the business. And when I was going on the street, my husband was talking with a girl on the street. And we said, I know the girl, I said, hi, and I was going further. He said, don't run, wait a little bit, because I want to introduce my friend from the States. I said, I would like to talk more, but I have to be for 8 o'clock in the morning. So we introduced ourselves, and I said goodbye to him. My husband said, don't run, I have the same thing to do in the street and the end of the street. I said, okay, but when I am reading, when I arrived to the business, I will be over. So that's what it happened, where I live. So anyway, I came out from the head salon in the night, 6 o'clock. He was waiting for me. So all right, we meet already. So that's how it started. And now we are together.
How many years are you married?
Huh?
How many years?
Almost just 14th of this month is going to be 68 tickets.
Wow. Beautiful. And you're
And I wish you all to have better lives together, and the women should be much better. Because he was separate in the war, I was separate in the war. And God bring us together with his side. We both of us come back. And that's how it is. Now we have Baruch Hashem for children and grandchildren, great-grandchildren. And what should have, we should be just healthy. And should tell the story. So we went through a lot in the war.
So you were married when you were separated?
And,
Yeah, we married in 1945.
You have questions, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're saying and you were separated from us.
So I was drafted into the Bunkertabor, which is called the Arbeitslager, because in 1942, working camp, because 1942 in Hungary, the Jewish guys, they were already drafted into that to working groups and not to the army. And naturally from there, in different places we worked, in different circumstances we had to go through. And end of 1944, my group, I was separated from my group and was sent to Schachendorf, is called the place that was under the German SS already, and you could imagine what you're reading in the paper that we have to live through this life,
You have to say it? You have to...
Schachendorf,
No, but I'm saying you have to... Through...
That you must be reading in books or in the newspapers, the same thing we have to live through a life, so many times, you woke up in there because the food was very scarce and the work was very hard, and the clothing was also, they didn't give us any clothing. You have to use the same clothing that you enter into it, actually, you know, that was in the cold times, in the very cold times, and also. So we get sick, for instance, you know, many of them died there. Next neighbors, you woke up in the morning, they find in the right side, unfortunately, your friend already dead, or the other side, you turn. It's unbelievable. We get typhus, you know, black typhus. I also got it, and after 3 weeks, you know, Baruch Hashem, I don't know how, but we survived. I survived, and then that was already, you know, close to the end of the war. It was about in the beginning of April, and then we get order, you know, that we are going to march, you know, to go further down because the Russians were coming closer. So they announced that all those guys, you know, who are feeling that they are able to walk, you know, should come, should join the group. Those which they are not able to walk, they better stay here because when you will sit down or you are not able to walk, you right away they'll kill you. They said it immediately. So you had to make a decision whether to stay, you will be killed there, or you are walking, you will be killed if you can walk. But you know, I just recovered from black typhus, but I was, you know, very, very tiny, you know, skinny, lost a lot, and also very weak. I know it that I can, you know, I've been not able to walk. So I decided I will stay. There were quite a few people who decided to stay. By the way, you know, there I met another person from the place that I'm coming from, and he came from already, he was in Russia, you know, already, and he told us that all those guys who were left behind the testament, they had the story that they killed them in the same night, all these guys. So he thought that to me, but it's up to you. Because if you were coming and you are stepping out, for sure you will be killed. You can take a chance. So I decided if you know that story, you never hear it, that you could be killed there. But Baruch Hashem, we are lucky because the same night the Russians came in.
Wow.
And they liberated us, and that was the first Seder night. So anyways, and from there, you know, right away in the morning, we decided, I have there 2 of my friends, you know, but we were together for the first day that I was drafted into the Munkatabor, and we started to walk. The Schachendorf is not far from, it's already in Austria, but not far from Hungary's borders. It's about 18 kilometers, 20 kilometers. We started walking, but we are walking like grabbing each other, you know,
To support.
But the wheel, you know, the strong wheel, you know, that we wanted to go. So we went in the same day, we reached the first city by the border.
The Russians didn't help you out?
The Russian was still there, you know.
But I'm saying they didn't help you out?
They know help. They let us go. That
was helping out.
That is also something.
Yeah, that's helping.
But wait, we're not finished with the Russians.
Sure.
It's not so easy with the Russians.
Right, for sure.
So we entered the city there. We're coming to the city, you know, but, you know, first of all, we saw this a store, you know, it was closed. And you remember, but they broke in and we take what we find it. So I have to change pants and everything because I full with lice, you know, still. So that was the first thing. And one of the and then we came to a farmer's house, and we, you know, 3 of us, and we told them we are survivors, so we would like to stay here at night, and if you have some food to give us. So they gave us food, and if we asked now in tech, you know, to wash up because to change. So they gave us hot water, you know, and we told them we don't want to go to the rooms, to our room, because we felt that we want to go to the stables where the cows are. That's what we wanted to do, because we wanted to change, we wanted to wash up. So we changed and washed up, you know, we changed, and they gave us food. And the next morning we didn't want to stay there because we were still afraid, and we started still to walk. So we bumped in a camp where the Russian was, and we are lucky that we find, you know, one of our, three of us spoke Russian, and spoke with the guys, and says, we told them what we came in, the Jewish, you know, survivors. So he says to us, you know, I am Jewish, the Russian soldier says, but one thing I tell you, don't go on the highway, because the Russian soldiers will take you, and they will take you to Russia. Doesn't matter if you are a survivor. So better go on the tracks, where the trains go, because there you are safe. So we went to the tracks, and we find sometimes a train, you know, that you know, not the cattle cars. You know, we sat on the cattle cars, and sometimes we went 5 kilometers ahead, and the next time back 10 kilometers. That's crazy. So then we decided we will walk. We walked up to Budapest. It took us about 10 days. So it's about 250 kilometers from where we started up. But when I in Budapest, in there, you know, was a joint already. You know, even though it was occupied with the Russian, you know, soldiers and everything, but nevertheless, we were able by the bridges, which was already temporary bridges, we went through in only the way that we could survive in Kukuwas is to help the Goyim which they survived, could you imagine, and to help to schlep the wagons, you know, because otherwise the Russian would take us back, because it happens many survivors which came back, you know, the Russian soldiers took them out back to Russia, and many of them perished there, even though they survived the war. So that's the way it happens. Then I went back to my place where we, you know, to find out if I have somebody from the family. But unfortunately, we were seven siblings. My parents came home. That's all right.
You okay?
My parents, they perished. My siblings, 4 of them. So I stayed alone there, I mean, from the family, and I heard that friends of mine, they are back in Togoy, so I went back to my place where I come home. And arrived there, you know, after midnight. They told me, here are 3 boys, they told me the names, so if you want to go there. So I go there and knock the door after midnight. So they asked, who is this? And I said to them my name. So they came out all, you know, from the bed and hugging, kisses, you know, but another guy survived. Yeah. So one of my sisters was married already before war. So the husband, my brother-in-law, came back. So he lived in a different city. When I find out about it right away, you know, I went there to him. And later, in a few months, a few weeks later, my younger brother, Zozan Gezin, who lives in New York, he was the one who came back from Auschwitz, and he survived. He told me what happened with the parents and with my sister. So we know that today, at least, we know the yard side of it. At least that's much I know exactly. So we stay there, and so as soon as I find out that my wife and the family came back, so naturally that I was, tyngde varmt. No, you take over.
You take over.
But I was saying, how were you not able to? How were you not taken also to Auschwitz with your family?
Me?
He was in work.
You went to work camp instead
Why
of
did you
going
end
to.
up in the labor camp?
Yeah. How did you end up in the labor as opposed to in?
No, because I was in the labor camp already from 1942.
Oh, as opposed to.
And the parents were taken away in 1944.
Oh, right.
You know, they were hungry.
That's when they took over Budapest.
Then the German, you know, they were hungry. 1944 about, yeah.
They carried the war. That's why it's amazing.
I'm saying I heard it was bad.
Mine was a different story.
Yeah, okay.
We were living in Szeged, the second big city of and before Pesach, they made that we had to, every Jew had to move out. They made that,
Ghetto.
the ghetto. They made that, and everybody had to take how much they learned, how much they get. We got sex in the family. They give us in a basement class. So they had everything. And you take your bed and sleep there. That's it. We went there, but they're not much longer like us. Then they took us out to the brick factory. A big factory. You know, it was, the bricks was all both sides. But they made it and they will deliver it wherever they come. So they emptied and all were gone. No, nothing at all was there. Floor. So we had blankets. We made ourselves comfortable how we can. Everybody was there and they was going after some beer. We had a beer. The bars, they got up the beer.
Shave them, yeah.
That's it. And then the girls, the hair got up very short. It was okay. And then we were there about 2 weeks. But basically it was still cool. It was freezing. I don't know, but we were alive. We didn't die again. Then they said that because my father was so religious that they can go to Switzerland. The parents, not the children. We were there 4 girls and a boy. So my father said, if we go together to Switzerland, then you're good. Not, he doesn't.
How old were you when you were in the factory? About how old were you in the factory?
Because they collect everything, all the things.
How old?
Oh, I was 19 and a half years.
And out of your 4 siblings,
I was the oldest.
you were okay.
I'll get there.
Then we got there about 2 weeks. My parents didn't go just together. Then they collect us in the train, train that is roads with animals.
Cattle farms, yeah.
And we went there. That's so bad that we couldn't move. They give us just
Yeah, they love art. Which means a pot to piss in.
Yeah, no space.
No, but they
No, literally they gave them a bucket to urinate.
So we were there. We didn't even see that who was dying. And because everybody was with the family together. And the train started to go. Was going 10 kilometers. Stop. And it came back. And again go. Again back. I said, we are again in the same city. What's going on? So the policeman?
Yeah, the police, yeah.
So he said they bombardier the track and we can't go far. Let's go at least, but no eating, but he did because he is was begging to give us a little brother for everybody. Anyway, we was going again to the end. We was going to Strasbourg.
Strasbourg is in Austria. That was their luck that they couldn't take him to Auschwitz.
So we arrived in Austria, between Hungary and Austria. So everybody packed down whatever, and the hand and the blanket and the bag. So and when we arrived, they took us because everybody has to take a shower. So the women together, like animals. Everybody has to be dressed down completely, and what we had on, they took in the bathroom.
To wash it?
No, to
Disinfect it?
Clean the
Disinfect.
disinfect. Yeah.
So anyway, we were there naked, men,
Naked, yeah.
children, grown up. And then when we had the shower, dressed up again, everybody collected their gold, and they took us out in the green field, like the animals took the field. And they give us something, a black coffee. But we drink that because it was all and we sit there on the grass, and once it comes two men, two
Austrian, guys.
and we got collecting people who can walk. And he was coming around and he stopped by us. We was 4 big girls already, and my parents. And he said, you girl. I said, I'm going with my parents with nobody else. And he started to laugh and said, that's thinking, this girl is crazy. She doesn't know what we did nothing. It's not like what you want. And then he stands up and nothing's decided. You know, he had a
It's pity.
So he said, okay, that was that. And then in my next blanket was another family like ours. And they saw that, but I was taking them, but I was talking like I was talking that I am a man, but not an animal. So he said the same thing, I'm going that with my parents. He said, all right, so anyway, he collect us, he was 45 people. They put us on a truck, and they took us to Austria. And over there, took us a gorgeous place, go up the hill, and all beautiful trees, and something gorgeous, the smell, the air, it was gorgeous. But we didn't know where we are going. So we arrived in a big house. The house was arranged already for 4 nights. We had 2 rooms, but the bathroom outside, naturally. But we was happy with it. And then in one room was 15, and it was a bigger room. It was about 25. And so we make ourselves comfortable, we make us coffee, we try some bread for everybody. We was waiting what it will be. The other day they came a man and he said, now here I give you shoes, the wooden shoes, put it on. And the old 2 ladies, my mother's and the other mother gave us baby food for us. And we went up on the hill with the wooden shoes that we used to it. We was falling a few times down because it had to go very up. So when we went up to the hill on the top, so stop now. They give us a saw my brother was in that time 14 years old. He was 14 without my father.
Was yesterday?
Yesterday, my sister, the youngest, was 12 years old, so she didn't have to go. It was a big thing, and it was another little boy who was very beautiful. He was the one who was thinking after him for us, lunchtime. So everybody has to be
One square, 1 meter square, you know, the wood to chop out in pieces.
You had a quota.
So you cut the trees and then you had to cut it smaller.
Also, yeah.
Okay.
With a saw and then after we chop it with axe.
But they didn't have the, you know.
Yeah. Wow. Males and females.
Yeah.
And we have to make every day. He was swag already, and I was making his own because he wasn't 29 years old. So we had to help to make it.
Help him.
But we had to. So that's why he went to the It was an old man over there, but he was not good. And he didn't want to die. Mama, she wanted to die. And he was always saving the bread for his son and grandson. He was working. He said that we need that because you have to have fire to burn. Anyway, and he didn't want to eat, and he died over there. So they have to bury them. Not everybody, just my father and another woman then. And we went to them over there. But after the war, I heard that they didn't get back to her. Anyway, we was working there about 10 months. After 10 months, one of the
Leaders on the
he said, he was crying. He said, I'm sorry, but you have to go. The truck will come back together. You have to go. I said, but there, I don't know. But it's kind of, if you want to tell them. So they packed us on the trucks.
They took him.
And then
There is a stad. They took him to
Regenstadt.
yeah.
There was a very bad lady that she was a Catholic. She said, you see, you came in on that door, you will go that direction. They told us.
They were in a bunker, and there was where my mother was very close to seeing smoke. The chimney, 24/7, always coming out smoke. So this lady, you're saying, this is an animal, said she always remembered.
She always said.
What was it again?
Never forget.
What?
You see, you came in that door, you will go to that ship. That's what they said. It was so scared. We were always crying. Lots of girls, they couldn't stand it. They went to the wire. And the wire was electric. If they stayed there, they can't stand it. I was lucky because my sister was she's a year older. And she was with me. And she was helping me a lot. She was stronger than me. Then there in Auschwitz, they put me to work. We was hammering a big stone to make ramps. And with a big hammer, we was hitting the stone to make ramps. I even now feel my hand is no good. That was recovered. I was happy. And after that, we stayed there for a while. When they had twice uphill, they called it, to find out how many people there. There was 5 of us. And my sister has to hold me for the bag because I collapsed.
The lineups that you used to have, the lineups, and actually my mother was with the animal Mengele. My mother actually came face to face, you should say, with your sister. It's Miriam helping you.
She helps me a lot. Now she's in Bakeries. She has Alzheimer's. She didn't even recognize.
But say what happened. Help say what happened in the lineup where they used to come. It's Miriam used to hold you.
Yes, she would hold me into when they come to find out people fight. I still have a Mon Jul yeah.
And what about your other siblings? When was the last time you saw them?
That's when we arrived.
So you went with your family and your in-laws together? And it was just you and your older sister?
Yeah, a brother was still alive and he went to, he was also in
labor
camp. Then he went to Budapest and then came to Paris and came to Winnipeg.
He went through the kinder transport, and he was one of the few that was able to come to Canada, to Winnipeg.
And your parents, your mother?
My mother and my mother's small children, they took
How did you keep your mind occupied during the holidays? Like when you were in Auschwitz, what made you keep going? And not?
I was so sick, so weak, very, very weak. We know that after later, they said, you came in that way, but you go.
How was it in the when you were in your bunker? How many people slept? It was, explain that. It's
we was 12 in a bed.
There were three floors. There were 3 levels. 3 levels.
And somebody wants to turn around. Everybody has to turn.
You could not sleep on your back. You had to sleep on a side. There was no space for 12 women to be flat.
Your sister, you said, helped you survive a lot.
She helped.
Was there anyone else that you found there? Like, in this place of terrible things, did you find kindness around you?
No, everybody was,
There was a kindness, actually, my son, Yaakov, of mine, at the kitchen. Remember in the kitchen, somebody did something, gave you...
Yeah, we was a little lucky because we know some girls who was good in a sewing factory. And when we took them to the washroom, all the girls, he was bringing some clothes and needles and everything. He was throwing to us. And we made some aprons. And we was lucky because when we made the aprons, we sell it to the kitchen. They give us some sweet coffee. We was very lucky.
And when were you liberated?
Oh, that was very interesting. When we was, then first of all, this from the lager, then we was
bullets, ammunition factory.
Yeah. And after that, when the finishing, that they said, no, you have to pack and go. We go away. So we went for 3 days. They took us, no eating, no sleeping, just walking and sleeping by walking. We were sleeping.
And if you didn't walk, you saw people beside you?
They found because they was tired and sick, they killed them. Just like that. And after we arrived, we arrived there, then they said, forest, was a forest, go on to the forest. And it was raining, and we slept on the floor. And he was crying there. My sister was so good to me, I'll never forget her. I was so skinny. She was more stronger than me. And we lie on the floor. And the bullets came, the American came. They were shooting, they don't know we are dead, but we were down the floor. And after that, a girl said, I will go down to see what happened. And she went down, then she was screaming, girls, come down, we are bleeding. And we so
say what happened when you came down, who was...
We came down, then everybody said, what the American rabbi from the army came and said, stay here, everyone stay here. We was bad because we lie on the floor, was raining. And after that, they took us in a school. And they were bringing, the rabbi was so good, I don't know his name, but he was very, very good rabbi. And they were bringing food for us, and we had to down there because it was a school there with a dormitory. And after that,
So maybe I was saying, what happened was when you were marching, some of the Nazis, did they run away? Maybe you're saying while you were walking and they saw that they were losing. What happened?
They ran away when we saw that they going away. We know something at the American. The American soldiers was throwing chocolate to us. We were so happy to be liberated.
After the war, from your family, your husband, did you get to see again?
No, he didn't come back.
Your husband didn't come back?
Didn't come back.
You had your father?
There was the rabbi when they asked all the names who were liberated, and they took somewhere else, and they was bringing from them to us, and then I find out my father.
And your brother who escaped the kinder transport?
And my brother.
And your sister, it's Miriam.
My sister was with me.
This is a very interesting story. She went back to she went back to see what was there. How did you meet Daddy? Did you got remarried? You went back.
After that, we went back and we opened the store there, and I went to buy to a big city to buy some merchandise for the store, and I was was sitting beside a man, and he asked me about his wife. He was in the concentration camp. I said, if he had the children, I don't think he is alive. And after that, I went back. I bought the things, I went back home. And another time I went again. And I was sitting beside this guy. He asked me about me, but he didn't recognize me. It was very interesting. After that, then he said he wants to marry me. And my sister-in-law, the really sister-in-law, his sister was in Ecuador.
My father has a sister. She escaped when the Holocaust started to South America, because South America was the only continent, a number of South American countries that took a lot of Jews in. So during the beginning part of the Holocaust, she escaped with her husband, my late uncle, my aunt, who's still alive. She's going to be 100 coming up this year. She lives in the Wagner Center. She's amazing. She said to her brother, to my late father, bring your kala, come to South America, to Ecuador, and I'm going to make the chassan, I'm going to make the wedding at my home. So my father had a family. My father's wife was pregnant and had a child, slaughtered. So the two that were coming back to pick up pieces to see things, and they went from, we say hell, from back Europe to South America to Ambato. The town was called Ambato in Ecuador. And that's where they got married.
Married in Ecuador.
I was there too. Then it was a big, big earthquake, 8-point earthquake. I had a little girl. She was.
It was Arab Shabbos, right? Remember?
Friday. It was Friday afternoon. It was an earthquake, shaking in the windows. Was coming down, and my husband was home, and he lay on the baby because
the kids are falling down.
Yeah, and after that, it was so dark that the earthquake was even split the floors that we run to my sister-in-law because she has a garden, and we stayed there. The baby, my daughter, she was a couple months old.
My sister.
She was so crying, she was hungry, and my milk I was so scared. She was crying, and we stayed in the garden for a while.
You were there for a few years until they had to leave. And my uncle, the one who was in Winnipeg, told everyone from Ecuador to come.
He said, don't stay there, go to Canada. He came in 1952 to Canada.
Where in Canada? Winnipeg or
No, I don't want to go to Winnipeg because I know that it's too cold.
Yeah.
He will come to, he came to.
Tell a story about the shoe, because you had to do, my mother had to do chalitza.
I had chalitza too. You know chalitza?
Yes, explain. What is
Chalitza, when you married, you didn't have children. And the older brother and the husband have a chalitza if you want to marry. You have to be married, you know. It's very interesting. They had to soak his feet, and he had to put on shoes. And the shoes, I had to tie it this way, open up this way, and that way, and that way. It's very interesting.
Never seen it done.
Very interesting, the halitza. Then I take the shoes in it. To go to and I spit.
Have you ever been back since then? To Europe? Based on your experience, if you could share one message with the world, what would that message be?
So if you want to say something to the younger people, younger generation, anyone,
So everyone would hear, what would you say?
I said to keep up and be smart. No, they are very smart, the children. I see my grandchildren are very smart, very educated. I didn't have that. I went on to grade 7. That's it. They don't know that. But my grandchildren, they are so educated, so nice.
They are.
Yeah.
I have a question. When you after you were liberated,
Yeah.
and you went back home
Yeah.
to where was it? If?
Yeah.
How did they treat you? And if the people, when you came back to how were you treated there? What was it like after the war?
It was okay. The neighbors, the boys, they was nice.
No problems?
No problem.
they allow you to stay somewhere when you walked back, you came back there. Where did you stay? Your place? Your place was there? No one took your place?
Your house is still
there. Still there.
They were more friendlier compared to other areas there.
So altogether, how long were you in Auschwitz altogether?
I was in from May to October.
It was a short period. It was one of the last ones, but it was very...
In October, they took us 3 days walking, no eating.
A death march. It was a death march.
If who can do it, they shut
Were you always able to talk about what happened?
Good question.
Yes, my granddaughter, she asked me a lot of everything here.
The story was when I was growing up, zero, nothing, nada. And not only that, but I probably didn't want to ask either as a child survivor. When I got married, that's when things started to talk a little because of my wife. A little bit talking. When the children came to an age more, my children, that's when it was much, much more. My father really never talked. It was very hard for my father compared to my mother. What my mother does is the last few years, she's been going to schools, Catholic schools, some schools in Mississauga, Brampton. I have some of my patients who are principals and going for a morning to speak to the kids, to the principals and the teachers. She's been doing that.
Yeah, I went into schools and they asked me things. I want to know what happened.
And she starts. What do? You always do? How do you start when you speak? She always starts like this. Take over. One picture. Look at
So you were looking for your sister?
Yeah, and I was asking,
When did you and Miriam get separated?
After that, somebody said, I know she is in this area. Then I went there and screaming her name, and she was in the third room, and she jumped down from the third room. She jumped down to see me, and she said, okay, you stay with me. And I said, I am not hearing, you have a little hair already. Then they find out. He said, good morning. And then after that they was again they asked me people to make appeal to it was Jelager, they took over the chef and we went there, they called it BAYT. I was in there. It was still, we stayed there for a while. Sit on the floor, it was in the stone there.
Did Miriam arrive on a different train to you earlier? Did Miriam arrive to Auschwitz before you on a different train? And who did she arrive with?
She arrived.
Did she have family?
She didn't have
And when you were in Auschwitz in the winter, it got very cold.
I was to October. Then I went to and then I was working in a big machine making
So where were you making?
good because they give us food and we could take them on the show. It was very good.
And did you find that all the Nazi soldiers were very brutal? Mostly. And they hit. And did any children have
Mengele came with all this with dogs. We had to show the hands. Many times.
You always had a dog with him?
Always a dog. He's a so scared.
Did he take people away when you were there, when you saw him? Did he take people away? Mengele?
The girls were so depressed. They went to the fire and stayed there.
Where you were sleeping 12 in a, when were all of those 12 people there the whole time you were there?
Yeah.
They were all there?
And were the female guards better than the male guards? Showed more compassion? There were only males? And were there women around at all? Women guards?
We saw them.
Oh, but tell about the story about a lady that slapped you. Say what happened.
In the lager, it was he was I'm in the city outside there on the floor. I had a little dish with me. And he said, what you have there? I showed
painted or shawls in front of you?
Oh yeah, I said many of them. They said that when the people smoking, they can walk.
All around you, right?
Yeah, lots of them.
I'd like to call upon Susie Bogler, the BAYT Community Liaison with the Community Chair, just for closing remarks. Following Susie's remarks, we are going to recite Birkat Hamazon.
Hi everyone. First of all, I would really like to thank everyone that worked so hard in putting this program together. My two co-chairs worked as hard, and if not harder, and to thank them for this program, but also who devote so much time in making our shul such a special place. Jordan Max, co-chair of the program, and Elaine Janosov, co-chair of our. Thank you also to Leslie Lewis and Mordechai Bookbinder. Leslie from our office and Mordechai, who's our executive director. We came to you with an idea and you helped us get it done, so thank you so much. To our great volunteers, and hopefully I don't leave anybody out, and if I do, I apologize ahead of time, but it's Ilana Ziza, Bela Fortinsky, Charlotte Lichtman, Suzanne Kay, Heather Tannen, Leslie Schwartz, and Eddie Cohen and Dan Cohen, who are doing the photography, and you'll hear a little bit of music at the end. Our sponsors, the Belitsky, Swivel, and Smogly families, the BAYT Sisterhood, without you, we're lost here, and the Brotherhood. Our board president, Harley Eklov, and our partners in this program, Hillel of GTA and JLIC. Our vendors, Tovli, Krojinski's, and Amazing Donuts for beautiful breakfast. And Aharon Habib, our Rav Koropkin, for his inspiration, guidance, and leadership. A very special thank you to our survivors who have taken the time to join us and share their stories and their difficult experiences with us. Not easy. Some of the survivors present here today are not on our official list, but we're really grateful that they've come out and joined and shared with us as well. Personally, I've gotten to speak to many of you and gotten to know you, and look forward to continuing to do so in the weeks and months to come with the project that we're putting together, the booklet documenting all the stories. As we said, the purpose, and has been said by speakers before me, the purpose of this breakfast was to allow us to connect our generations. Chazal tells us, "Bechol dor vador, chayav adam lirot et atzmo keilu shehu yatsa miMitzrayim." In every generation, each person is obligated to consider it as if they themselves have come out forth from Egypt. And each of us has a responsibility to listen, learn, and to teach. Lishmoa, lilmod, uladmed, what some consider is our modern-day Mitzrayim. So I would really like, above all, to thank everyone that has come out and participated today, who came to hear and learn, especially the younger generation of students. Without you, we could have not accomplished today's goals. Thank you.